strong man.
I'll go now.
Someone, when you said that.
Where is my mother?
God damn it! God damn it, Moon Spirit! Also, shout out to Natla's PS2 model. She has fucking sideburns. She looks like Noddy Holder from the band Slade. She expects her to get up and turn around and just yell, "It's Christmas!"
Single word.
You died?
Did I?
You died!
How? How did I die?
I think you rammed into that wall so hard that it actually caused her to die. Which can happen, but...
Fuck. Oh.
all these faces are just like, and there's this guy who's just like, yeah, noish. Huddled by spikes is a top tier euphemism. Spiky balls, I think it was, wasn't it?
Spiky balls?
That's what you said.
Spiky wall.
Well, might be.
It's a wall, not ball.
There are spiky balls.
Yeah, you when you haven't shaved them, they go all prickly.
I must have neglected to read it in my haste. I do apologize. Oh dear, oh boy, you exploded. Hard luck, yeah. It's basically just like, oh dear, back to the start with you. One day, you can start that every time. And the more and more Atlanteans that die, the more kind of like deranged the narration gets, because he's just getting a bit fed up of having to restart himself. Bugger. But they just like play immaculately regardless. And what does that... So what did that do? I heard the secret noise, but I've been trolled by my chat before. Was that just to open a feckin' secret? Hang on. 2 seconds. I was trolled. It was a redeem. No! Oh! My goodness, and my microphone has fallen over. Not that you can see. I am here. I am also not here. I am Invisa Steve. Fear me and my ability to not be visible no longer. Hello. If I set this on fire... Oh god, music! Scary music! Intense! Oh god, I'm on fire now. Oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god.
Harry, I shit myself.
Fantastic timing with the sound effect there, Remuel. Fantastic timing. I might be actually kind of smart. I'm not mega smart, but I've got something up there in this 5 head of mine. That content of this 5 head. It's gonna equip the Yeetus Deletus. Fucking hell! I mean... Just... Did I win? No. Oh, the delay. The delayed react. I could touch you. Camera's died again. Fuck's sake.
You see Amanda? Give her my regards.
Whee! Yeah! Oh goodness! That wasn't slow-mo, by the way. That was the frame rate once again shitting itself. Yeah, so this is a new level. In the original Underworld, you don't get to play any kind of outdoor biking section at all. You just go straight to the inside bit with the spiral. The inner workings of the goop fountain. Gwyneth Paltrow's goop fountain. Wait. That sounds worse than it intends to be. Alright, let's go back. Do I just... Ha! Yeah! Well, that works. Nice! Okay, cool.
You see mine?
With one of the boats, you can drive into those, by the way, and smash them.
Why didn't you tell me that when I got in the other boat and went, oh no, I can't get in the boat because there are boats in the way?
Because I thought it'd be funny. And also, you're being really loud tonight. I wonder what the neighbours are going to think. No, Matt. Well, can't be having that.
Nut shot.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever lovely time it is for you lovely people. How are we today on this finest of Thursdays? I'm not too bad. How about yourself? Tell me in the chat how you getting on. Hello Nadine on YouTube, welcome. Hello there Tinkerbell Mew 1984, good afternoon / evening. Hello. Remiel Limlem, welcome. Holy testy shot, Batman. Scotty Lodinson, Dragon Fairy Studios, welcome to you both. Fuchsia Rosa, Vanilla Death Shot, welcome. The game she doth play, hello, you right? Thomas Wrightenson, here to enjoy pure and un-AI'd Tomb Raider. I had to sort of double take for a second. What you just typed. CJ Blackthorn, welcome. Hello there, Chemic as well. I hope everyone's ready for more Sabatu. Seems like I'm the only one that isn't. Half the time. Everyone else is well prepared. Meanwhile, I'm going into this completely, like, blind. And just basically firefighting with the game to try and win. But you don't win. You just do a little bit better each time, as Cleveland would say. But I hope everyone is doing well. What's everyone's week been like so far? I figured whilst we sort of wait for people to sort of filter in, I will talk about the brief little announcement that happened from Dark Horse Comics And that is that there is going to be a new line of unified Tomb Raider comics, starting with one issue or one storyline that happens directly after Tomb Raider Underworld, which is very fascinating to me, for a number of different reasons. One reason is, if you remember rightly, for anyone who may have played Rise of the Tomb Raider's Blood Ties DLC, you may remember that you spend a majority of that, in fact it's the entire purpose of that DLC, to find your mother's corpse in a crypt underneath Croft Manor, because it's been chilling there this entire time. Because Richard tried to resurrect her with some kind of Tibetan ritual. It didn't work, so they sent her back in a, I don't know, FedEx refrigerated package or something. But that was the entire point. But in Underworld, most famously, it carries on from Legend, and in Legend's continuity, Lara and Amelia have a plane crash on the way to somewhere, and Amelia gets sucked away to Avalon. And then she finds Amelia in Underworld, in the Avalon, Helheim / area, and she's a half thrall zombie. So that's one thing. Like, it's gonna be interesting to see how much they retcon. And I've got a theory, which I'd like to sort of put forth to you guys. And it's a theory that I think a lot of us have kind of seen coming as a big possibility for, like, how they could write themselves out of the hole that this is in currently. Because the other thing that kind of presents itself a bit of a problem narratively to link the unified era of the Survivor timeline, the classic timeline, and the Lao timeline is the fact that Natla explicitly tells Lara to her fucking face that she killed Richard herself. And as anyone who has played Rise of the Tomb Raider could probably say, Trinity were the ones that pulled the trigger on old Daddy Croft there, and that was the whole plot twist of the entire game, is the fact that it's implied heavily that it was either gonna... I don't think it was Constantine, but I think they retcon that in the next game to be someone else. But it's heavily implied that it was Constantine and Trinity as an organization that were the ones that had Richard assassinated, because he was getting too close to finding out the truth to do with the divine source, etc., etc. Also, thank you very much there for the Prime sub there, second bout, for 50 months now on the trot. That's crazy. Thank you very much for the support. Amelia's tomb will probably just be an empty symbolic tomb in essence of a body. The real problem is Daddy. Daddy is the big problem. And also, good evening to you too, Apollo Technologies. Thank you very much for the 9-month sub. I'm doing okay. We're just sort of like brainstorming a bit here with the revelation of the new Dark Horse comics taking place directly after Underworld. So, and here's the theory that I've got cooking in my brain. I think a lot of people have kind of hoped that they didn't do this because it seems like the very easy way of doing things, but it doesn't necessarily make sense, and it kind of takes away... It kind of makes it all about Natla, which it doesn't necessarily need to be. Natla, there are more bad guys in Lara's life than just Jacqueline Natla. Jacqueline Natla just happens to be the first. So, yeah, some of the chat I can see already talking about it. They're basically, I'm thinking, gearing up for a major retcon to Trinity, and I think Trinity is essentially going to become Jacqueline Natla's organization, or she's going to be heavily involved in that in some capacity, pulling the strings from the distance. I think that's what they're going to do, because that's legitimately the only thing I think they could actually do to write themselves out of the corner that they're in with those particular games without having to leave them out. It does kind of suck because it kind of makes it like, you know, in Raidercast's video, it was Jacqueline all along. You know, everything comes back to Jacqueline Natla, which kind of is a bit lame. But it depends how they do it. Really. It really does. We shall see. I wonder how much they've had this in the pipeline, though, to a degree, because of the fact that the original ending for Shadow of the Tomb Raider that was patched out after release basically showed and confirmed that Natla was going to be next in the pipeline to be explored in the series. Because for those of you who don't know, there was a cut ending to Shadow of the Tomb Raider, which I'll talk about in the retrospective as well, when I eventually get round to that. Where eventually, in the ending cutscene, instead of like it all being like, all bright and colourful and cheery, and she's just reminiscing about her past, and she turns to a photo of her, like a drawing that she made for her father on the wall, and reminisces about how she must embrace past and move forward into the future, etc., etc. It very definitively, in this version, shows a letter on her desk addressed to her from Jacqueline Natler, which is a heavy implication that that's what the next like entry in the series was going to, where it was going to go. But obviously they didn't necessarily want to do that. That was one idea I think they just got left in by accident. They cut that out pretty much on day one, but you can still see it on YouTube, because of course you can. God bless people who archive this stuff. So yeah, like Trinity potentially could be Qualopec, Natla, and Tehoken. And yeah, I remember there being rumors for a while of them remaking Tomb Raider 1 again. And if that isn't cancelled, I think we could possibly expect it to be a retcon that Lara discovers this whilst she's adventuring through the adventures of Tomb Raider 1. That this is the case. Yeah. Trinity is just a group of 3. But Trinity... Let me just get the actual blurb up to do with Trinity. Because I need to refresh my memory on what the organization actually is about. The Order of Trinity, commonly attributed as abbreviated as Trinity, is a religious military order and a group of fanatics that sought to control over fate of humanity, as well as as a whole through the use of ancient artifacts. A millennia-old cabal that existed long before the birth of Jesus, Trinity eventually became associated with Roman Catholic Church by 978 AD. One of its senior leaders was a Catholic bishop. This association persisted into the modern day as a mercenary hired by Trinity for Kitesh in 2014 was able to trace the source of the organization's funding to Rome, Italy, and the leader of Trinity's High Council, prior to Dr. Pedro Dominguez, was a cardinal. So yeah, heavy Christianity vibes with this Trinity organization thing, very much like baked into the Spanish Inquisition and the Crusades and that era of historical religious theming. I can't speak. I'm talking too fast. Let me just say some welcome to some other people. Olivia Sloan, welcome. I'm doing okay. How about you? Apollo Technologies, welcome. Sazula, hello. Rex113. What was the news? The news was that there's a new line of Tomb Raider comics coming out, but the interesting tidbit which we're talking about is the fact that it takes place directly after Tomb Raider Underworld's events. So we're basically coming up with a theory because of the fact that Amelia died in a plane crash. No, Amelia and Lara were in a plane crash in Legend, which then led to the events of Underworld and her discovering that her mother has been stuck in Helheim this whole time. And she had to, she basically became a half-zombie thrall type person. Contradicts with the account in Rise of the Tomb Raider's Blood Ties DLC, where you spend the entirety of that DLC discovering that your mother's corpse has been taken back by Richard and placed into a crypt underneath Croft Manor, and that's your proof of ownership and entitlement to the mansion, basically, from Uncle Atlas de Mornay. And also, another plot hole is that it introduces an interesting thing with Richard Croft, because Trinity, in the Survivor timeline, Trinity were the ones that assassinated Richard because he got too close to the truth of the divine source, etc., etc. But in Underworld, Natla explicitly says to Lara that she was the one that killed Richard herself after an expedition in Thailand, etc., etc. Which begs the question what they're going to do with Trinity, and are they going to retcon it to mean that Trinity means actually Qualopec, Tehoken, and Natla instead? Because that's the only way I can think of that they could write themselves out of this corner that those games really put them in. Hey DJ Full. I'm good, thank you. Been a productive day. Nice. Nice, Olivia. We like productive days. Very true. Maybe they are the source of all religions, myths, and cultures. They could spin it like that. I don't know whether or not it necessarily, like, I'm very much kind of like on the train of it doesn't need to be Natla again. But if it does end up being Natla all along, then I will just have to sort of just make my peace with it and see where they take it. If it goes in an interesting direction, then I'm for it. And it also potentially could mean that they preserve every single game that's come out and still make it matter, which I think's important. But it is kind of like diminishing, like, it kind of makes Natla just like a bit more of a villain than I think she ever needed to be. You know? Didn't need to be Jacqueline Natla just because she's the first and, like, arguably the most iconic villain of the entire series, sure. We need a new villain. Sabatu! Yes, so speaking of Sabatu, we're going to be continuing on with our adventures through Sabatu's glorious boulder-filled caves of wonder, excitement, and death today, so without further ado, I am just going to stop the music there. And let's switch over to the game. We are at 62 whole deaths. Yes, whole, unfiltered, free-range deaths. Locally sourced. So let's hope that this actually does work again, because we did have problems. So I'm hoping that we still run it in windowed mode, not full screen. Because otherwise, if we run it in full screen, that's when the flickering starts to happen. Again, let me know if I need to make any adjustments to the audio or the video, if it's looking a bit choppy or a bit, like, sounding a bit shit. Please do let me know. So we're still in Kolopek's bathroom. We are still here. The first level out of 4, but bearing in mind these levels are quite long. I'd like to think that we're pretty much near the end of this particular part of the game, but I can't be certain as to the accuracy of that at all. Trinity of mutated villains. What, like Natla, Willard, and Marco Bartoli? That could be kind of funny. Return of Marco Bartoli, please.
Macho broccoli.
Thank you. Hey, Flynn. You nominate me as new Winston, I will happily take that mantle, and I would wear that mantle with pride. I would carry those mugs of tea, no matter where adventure called, and where danger sought to sow its seeds. I would always be there with a cup of English breakfast or Earl Grey to parch her thirst. Why is there a singular black pixel on the bottom right? That is a very good question, and I can't answer that. I don't know. You're making me... I don't have a dead pixel on my monitor. That's just the stream itself doing that. I have no idea. Maybe there's something that I forgot to move over. Desperately clicking through stuff now just to see if there is anything. Ah, I know what it is. Yeah, there we go. It's gone now. We did a speed run for Die Hard yesterday, Die Hard Trilogy on PlayStation, and that must have been the leftover box for where the live split window sits. A survivor from the Fialan era seeks revenge. I mean, they could do that for the lols. Oh, God. They could genuinely do that for the lols. Bring back old characters in that type of way. Yesterday? Sorry, Tuesday. Did I say yesterday? Apologies. Yeah, sorry for making everyone panic and think their monitors were broken just then. The real plot twist will be Natla was an Angel of Darkness's Cabal too. Please don't do that. Just leave Angel of Darkness alone. Just leave the Lux Veritatis and, like, the Eckhart's Cabal, like, to be its own thing. Stop making Natla the mastermind behind everything in her life, please. Begs the question, where the hell was, like, Jonah and everyone else during these, like, adventures, you know? That's another thing to try and work out. Explain away. Maybe Jonah just got finally sick of her nonsense and was just like, do you know what? Me and Abby from Shadow are just gonna live a life, raise a child together and then just be happy. Hello, Adam Gamer. Welcome. Just got back from Scarborough. Oddly specific. I like it. What were you doing in the old Scarborough there? Natla was the Angel of Darkness. Oh, what, she was like the creepy-looking Nephilim sleeper that blows up at the end in a beam of light. Yeah, sure. That seems plausible at this point. They should hire me to, like, fucking write at Crystal Dynamics. I could probably do as good of a job. If I just tie it all back to Natla, you know, that's all they need me to do, right? Right, how the fuck am I meant to... Let me just quickly save here. Hey, Hunter Biscuit. I quite like it if they made it so Trinity was inspired by the Atlantean Triumvirate legends, but then religion got involved and ballsed it up, and Natla could be completely uninvolved. That way, I mean, that could work if it literally was just like a fucking tribute act. You know, Trinity was a triumvirate tribute act to Atlantis, and she's dead. There we go. That's another one. Hang on. Actually, remembered I need to change my hotkeys on my foot pedal. Profile default. There we go.
Ball taken.
Let's go back to that. The Tri in Trinity stands for Tribute Band. Possible idea would be that would limit Natla's scope. She was using Trinity for influence and power, and then she watched Lara implode it. She decides to send Lara a job offer, and then Tomb Raider 1 and Underworld happened, and she now... now she is dead, and they don't have to worry about it much. But then you've got Doppelganger, and already people are saying that the person in the panels that they've shown off so far, it's like, oh, this person who stood in a massive cloak where you can't actually make out what their appearance looks like, only apart from their shoes, has the same brown boots that Lara wears. It must be Doppy. It's like, no, I'd be amazed if it was, honestly. Natla created the Umbrella Corporation, right? Oh, there we go. There we go. Somehow Natla returned. Hey, Gemini Jake, you're right. Sabatu levels are quite stunning. Oh my god, I can actually look around because it's hard to see where to go kind of way. Yeah. Like I said, like Sabatu, for the flack we playfully give him with these levels, when he actually does, like... Did I just climb out here for no reason? Oh, I needed to escape from here. Yes, I'm fine. When he actually does put his mind to creating stuff, you actually sit back and appreciate it. It's really fucking good. Jokes aside. Memes aside. It's still really good stuff. Natla was Voldemort. Bring back Bacon Lara. I mean, sure, if Doppy gets in a horrendous accident. So, what did I pick up? I haven't got anything in my inventory. So where am I going now? That's the next question. Where was the announcement for it? If anyone's like curious to look at the Twitter post itself, it's I saw what you said, what it was. It's on Twitter. Just look up Dark Horse Comics. There should be a page about it somewhere on Google. But Dark Horse Comics are the publisher, and I believe there's a sub-company that are doing the art and the writing and everything that they've commissioned out to do it. Yes, thank you. Highbridge, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Lodinson. I noticed there was a comment on my last VOD basically saying to someone was basically telling you to shut up and let me think for myself, Scott. And I want to just make it very crystal clear that Scott is basically kind of like my sat-nav. And I will only ask Scott and pay attention to Scott's help, or anybody else's help, if I necessarily ask for it, or if I need it. So don't worry, there's no people trying to basically just kind of like take this game's experience away from me or anything like that. It's all good, we're all friendly here. I will ask if I get stuck. Because of the nature of these level sets, I do get stuck a lot just because they are quite difficult. So, we love Scott, and we love everyone else in the chat. And anyone else who's watching back as the VOD as well, welcome. We love you guys too. Hello there, Carly. Prime Zebra, how are you doing? How's Bubba? I'm sure Bubba's basically nearly there, right? At this moment in time, it's pretty much just like Thunderbirds a go as to when he might appear. Can imagine Sophia Lee being revealed to be a Natla daughter at some point. She's blonde and she's a woman, therefore she's related, you know. We're kicking him out tomorrow. Kicking him out. Like, your rent's overdue. You're a bad tenant. Need to make room for a new tenant. Get out of here. We wish you all the best for you both. Ah, for fuck's sake. For you and for Rob. It's gonna be the start of a brand new chapter of your lives. I'm very excited for you guys, and yeah, it's gonna be amazing. It's going to be amazing, it's going to be stressful, it's going to be tiring. But you know what? I think it will be in the end really, really worth it for you guys, and I can't wait to see Henry when he pops out, yeah, when he gets evicted from your vaginal tenancy. So to speak. Oh, thanks, man, I appreciate it. I help where I can. I will confess my knowledge of the rest of this is not as ingrained. That's totally fair. But I just wanted to sort of reassure you, if you did happen to see that comment, or anyone else wants to sort of make the same comment about him again, then I just want to sort of make it crystal clear that that's not the case. People aren't taken away. I will ask, and I did ask for you to help me if I got stuck. There we go. Do you think it's sickling anything about the first Tomb Raider comic in 7 years as a post-Underworld one? Oh yeah, like, the fact that they've committed to actually announcing that being the case means that they're 100% behind making sure that all the games are canon in some capacity. Maybe not so much the Game Boy Color games, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean. RPD recruit. Welcome to the force, sir. Or madam. Take a seat. Hope you're doing okay. Thank you for the follow. Your manager made a whole platter of street corn? The fuck is street corn for my last day at work? Is that just like sweet corn they've dropped on the floor and just like put in a tray? Hey look, it's street corn. It's street food, you know? It's tasty. Honest. Doesn't taste like tarmac and dirt. Tomb Raider the Prophecy has to be canon. Well, I suppose if we shout loud enough about it, it will just make it a thing. Sorry. I have a nice muffin to enjoy. 2 seconds. Street corn sounds like if Jonathan Davis from the band Korn made a rap album. You know? I'm gonna butcher this pronunciation. It's elote, which is corn, peppers, mayonnaise, and cheese. Interesting. Oh god, this entire floor's... Oh no, not the entire floor, bits of the floor are falling away. Why do I get the feeling that I'm gonna regret taking this so casually? Because I have a feeling I'm gonna have to come back through and, yeah, and try and not fall down where I've walked. I think I might have buggered myself a little bit there, but we'll see. Next thing we know, the Angelina films are now canon, and we have 3 competing daddy deaths. 4, if you count the Top Cow continuity, the 90s comic continuity, which basically had, oh good lord, which basically had Henshingly and the rest of her family die in the plane crash. That in the original continuity for core design, that she survived from, but she was the only person in the plane. Which is interesting as also another side of that is the fact that her marriage was willingly arranged this time around. It wasn't something that she was forced into. She actually, you know, apparently I haven't read many of them, but from what I can gather, what I've read so far, her fiance wasn't something that she was trying to avoid being married to. They just basically said, yeah, her mum, her dad, and her fiance, they just died in the plane crash. That's it, and she is very sad, secretly. So for anyone who's just kind of like, oh yeah, Crystal Dynamics were the ones first to kind of, like, go on and on and on about her having a tragic past or, like, trauma in her life, I'm pretty sure, like, even before the movie, that these comics were something that Core Design signed off of. So it's been a thing for a while, but it has been hammered home, you know? It does just need to stop. We need a timeline video. That could be an interesting project. So, okay, that happened. Let's just save quickly. Natla killed Uncle Ben. No, my rice. Of course boulders and spikes crowned hearts. Why wouldn't it? Why would you expect anything other than that in a Sabatu game? It's part of the course. Natla gave Toby cam. Natla gave Toby the cam.
Was tired of fat wind,
I noticed a weird quirk with the health there. Did anyone else, like, clock the fact that if you hold down fire with the Uzis, it doesn't do as much damage over time, but if you let go and then shoot, it sort of resets the damage output to being full again? It's very strange. I don't know if that's a bug consistent with all of, like, the classic Tomb Raider games, or whether it's just this build. I don't know, man. But we have our first piece of the Atlantean armor, and it is glorious. Look at that PNG. Fabulous. You don't become this much of a badass without some major trauma. And, to be honest, I'm fine with her having some kind of, like, everyone has trauma in their life, for God's sake. I'm fine with her having some kind of, like, dramatic narrative that sort of ties back to her family in some way that she has to deal with. That's not what I have a problem with. The problem I have with is the fact that it's just something that the writers, for any kind of, like, spin-off or recent iteration of the character, it seems like anyone who's writing for her, just, that's all they seem to just, like, grasp onto. Because reasons. Like, they can't come up with something that's, like, more creative than just, like, oh, she's a tortured soul. Like, we get it, you know? She has... She has a bit of a past. Okay. Lara's trauma is the government trying to take her guns away. But it's America. Save game. Ooh. And now where? So I've got entrance there. Whoops. What the fuck is gonna be up there? A boulder. Because of course it's a boulder. Why did I ever doubt you, Lord Sabatu? The real trauma, though, that she has in her life is the fact that Winston once, and I'm going to let you on a secret here, Winston once served her tea where he put the milk in first. Oh! Oh! I could never fathom such a travesty. My God, especially for the British people. What the fuck?! Right. Okay. If it ain't a boulder, it's the entire ceiling. Gotcha. I'll be sure to keep an eye out for that. Thank you, Sabatu. And that's what you get for revealing secrets. Oh, I'm so sorry. That's what I get for revealing the secrets. I'm so sorry. Yeah, Crowned Hearts was right there. What do you think is going to be up there, love? Well, yes, I was proven right. My hunch was on point. Still worse, it wasn't Yorkshire tea. No, it was Tetley. Perish the thought. So, this entire fucking ceiling can just fucking collapse. Right, gotcha. Saving game. Let's take this one step at a time, chat. Oh my lord. Don't talk ill about Winston, he's always watching. Very true. Fuck. Ah. Not good.
Ball taken.
There we go. Let's load up again. Wait, have I heard of the Tony Blair snog from the comics? No, that's a thing. Bearing in mind, I've only just really started, air quotes, collecting these comics and reading through them. I only have a few issues. I've not read through the entire lexicon of the Top Cow works. But if that's a thing, that's kind... Ow. That's kind of cringe. I feel like I need to see it. As a Turkish Persian, if the tea isn't from my homeland, I reject it as tea. That's totally fair. She goes for a full bore snog as well. That's weird. Why? Oh god, I'm gonna have to Google this now. Sorry, chat. Let me just bring up this. Hang on, Lara Croft, Tony Blair. Oh my god. And why? Why? Hang on, chat. Why is this a thing? That's... There we go. Sorry, chat. That doesn't even look... Oh, I guess it kind of does. Right, let me just read this. You've been trying to get my attention from day one. And is that Winston Churchill? I have no idea on that, my lady. I was only summoned here at a last resort. Still, that's a lot of ghostly interaction even for my lifestyle. I can't believe it's a mere coincidence. Right then, I'll make this brief. I know Tony has a lot to do before the meeting of ministers tomorrow. Now, where is that? Ah, I do love technology. I never get to play with the good old stuff these days. And then literally next frame, Tony, this is the assignment for... This is for England. And this is for you. Why? Why, oh why, oh why, oh why is this a thing? I never knew. This is legit, like, blown my mind. Is that meant to... That's Winston Churchill. I'm pretty sure John Prescott didn't smoke cigars like Winston Churchill. I don't know. I'm not going to ask for full context because, honestly, I'm weirded out enough as it is. That's bizarre. Thank you for bringing that to my attention and scarring me for life, and the chat. You're welcome. Okay. Need to bleach my eyes and brain. Why Tony Blair? I know he was the Prime Minister at the time, but... That'd be like... If Margaret Thatcher was the was around in power during that line of comics, would we be in a universe where that panel would be slightly different and 100% more gross? I don't know, and I don't really want to know. But my brain's taking me there, and I don't like it. Could be worse, could be Boris Johnson. That, I think even she's got standards, right? I don't know anymore. Oh, that's the exit. Fair enough. We've done the first level. Wallopek's bathroom has been flushed. 62 deaths according to this, but I've counted more. So now we are in... What's this level called? Let's make a save quick. Save. So this is called... Elysium Tihocan. Rolls off the tongue, doesn't it? Casa del Tihocan. This is Airbnb. From when he's feeling a little bit tired. Thatcher was Natler? No! maybe Natler was Tony Blair. Ah? Big brain theories going on in this chap. Some really interesting visuals during this. I mean, I'm already quite, like... enamored with how it looks, with the greenery mixed with the sand. And Natler joined the Iraq War. God. The places you could potentially take that as well. Please don't. And I know exactly... You know exactly what I'm talking about. Don't make her responsible for that incident, you know? If you're thinking it, keep it in your head. It's a nice little pond. There's nothing in it there for me, though. It wasn't oil... Oil was a key to Atlantis. Been thinking it since we started, but it's a bit too far for a light chat. Yes. Oh, hello. Well, aren't you a nice, lovely... Oh, that's way closer than I... Do you know what it was, right? The size of it threw me off. I thought that because it was quite small looking that it would be further away. Nope, it's just right at the exit of that particular... Ha ha! Ha ha! Ah!
Sorry. Song finished.
Perfect timing. What song was it? A Natlosaurus Rex. Right, now what do I do? So there's a slope there, there's a ledge I can grab over there, so I've got to do some shenanigans to then do this, and then do this. Just about made that. A big old drop there, though. Where's that boulder coming from? It's always a bit ominous where it shows you footage. Oh, hey. Of a boulder. So that came... Where did that come from? It just seems to appear. So, is it implied that it rolled all the way down here? Was that a block that I could have used to have stopped it? We may never know. Or is this something that... No. Warning, objects are closer than they appear? Yeah. Oh my god! Yeah. That's interesting. If you tap the fire button with the Uzis rather than holding it down, I'm pretty certain it does more damage per shot. I don't know whether or not that's just a bug of Tomb Raider 1, or if that's a Tomb Raider 1X custom engine bug. Answers on a postcard, please. I guess. They've learnt how to climb, I know. The horror. By the way, what are the numbers looking like on YouTube? How many viewers we got watching? I can't see it on my particular output. That's cool. Again, greenery mixed with brownery. I approve. Golden, probably more than brown. Using the word brown a lot. How now, brown cow? 42 on YouTube. Nice. 42 on YouTube, 45 on Twitch. Hello everybody, and thank you very much for watching me live. Really appreciate every single one of you lovely people. Ow. Let's do that again. Get my health back. Whoa, hello. Sudden bazungas. Greenery mixed with brownery like a vegan stool sample. I'm pretty sure they don't shit out potted plants, mate. Although that would help out a lot, especially if you were some kind of botanist. Wouldn't have to go to the garden centre as much. Just eat something and there we go. Voila. So that's the ledge I'm gonna go to. Yeah, there are so many scenarios with that comic panel where if you change the decade it was made on, it makes it either more or equally as cringe. Oh, you gotta go, Sloan? No worries. Gotta upload my video for one of my other channels. Enjoy the stream and have a good evening, you and everyone. Thank you, and you too. And what video is it before you go? Tell us what video you're uploading. Oh, come off it. That should have let me grab. That should have let me grab. Is there a decade where it would be less? I mean... Not really, no, because like UK leaders, at least the ones I can remember. We've had Nick Clegg and it was the Coalition. Oh, what was the Conservative guy's name? David Cameron. We've had those two. We've had Boris Johnson. We've had Rishi Sunak. We've had Liz Truss, who officially got outlasted by Alessis. which is great. Who else have I said? Oh, we've obviously had Maggie Thatcher. I can't remember anymore. Obviously Tony Blair, but that's a given. Currently we got Keir Starmer. For what the fuck that statement's worth. Not to get political or nothing. He's just a wet blanket. Theresa May, yes, as well. Yeah, Mrs. Field of Wheat. So yeah, we're kind of a bit boring in the political department, really. I mean, if you were to say to me, if it was Maggie Thatcher but played by the woman who plays her in The Crown, then we'd be talking something else. And Gillian Anderson. I forgot her name, but I remembered it now. John Major. Not Mayer. John Mayer's the guitarist, isn't he? Are you saying John Major wasn't exciting? I wasn't. I was young, incredibly young. I saw him on the telly, I didn't really take much stock in, if I'm perfectly honest. I don't think politics was on my radar at all during that time period. He was just there. He's just a funny looking man. He looked like the world's most interesting man. He looked like the type of man that would definitely collect trains and stamps. In that order. I'm dying to get into the shenanigans of this level. So am I. I'm just trying to work out where it's expecting me to go. There's loads of different potential avenues of exploration. Over there looks like somewhere you can climb. Over there's definitely something where I've got to go to at some point. What the heck that structure is over there, I have no idea. There's obviously some kind of floating platform situation, but what that red balled, like a part of a gate, possibly? And there's obviously some kind of... the Omega... that's the Omega symbol, right? In the Greek alphabet? That's a pressure plate. So maybe I've got to go over there and try and find a way to get up there. Maybe. Unless there's some point to me climbing up this thing. We shall see. It is the Omega symbol. Thank goodness I know some things. Yay, I know something, but not much. Admittedly. Gordon Brown, yeah, everyone forgets him. I even forgot him. Gordon Brown. Yeah, he was the Prime Minister at the time Barack Obama was President of the United States. So he had the fun guy over in the States and the really boring, jowled guy over in the UK. Okay, so here's the thing. Here's the thing it's expecting me to do. Save. Save. This... oh, hang on. Yeah, this isn't going to end well for me. I think. I noticed there was that folding platform. Oh, there's one there too. And I thought to myself, I'm going to grab this ledge. It's going to take me too long to climb up to be able to then get off that collapsing platform and get across, but I made it somehow. Thank you for the super chat, Olivia. They will be uploading Sniper Elite 5 headshots only. Nice, can't wait to see it. You have to send it to us in, like, if you're part of Discord, send it to me in Discord. If not, just, like, tag me in it on YouTube or something. I'd love to see that. Sorry if you've already gone, by the way. Ooh, medkit. more Uzi ammo and a medkit. Fabulous. What's that down there? Oh, is that the shotgun? Ah! See, I read somewhere that apparently there's a secret shotgun in the first level that I missed. So that's good, I can pick one up here. Hooray. Yeah, yeah, that's very true. It only really registers when you've got Lara stood on it for it to begin collapsing. So I was very fortunate. Also, hi, by the way. Oh, you did see it, Olivia. Thank you. Thank you for the super chat. I really appreciate it. Really appreciate it. Can I stand on here, or is it going to be slidey town? No, that's in front of me. The secret sound here is in lower pitch, so the chat control me. Yay!
I really need a fucking Starbucks, Jonah.
That's fantastic news. Ow. Oh well, worth it. There's a bent spike here too. Benty puss, he is outside. Okay, now I'm going. Enjoy, everyone. Thank you. See you later. Now where do I go? Get all the weapons in the first level, apparently. I didn't even know the magnums were in there. No, neither did I. Fair enough. I pinged a secret as a real secret happened. Oh, I wonder why it sounded off kilter. That's funny. Ooh. Let's jump into this here. That just released the monkeys. The apeth have escapeth. Where are they? Where are our hairy friends? Where's Kong? There he is. He's very, very annoyed at me. But he's there. Somewhere. Trapped behind a wall. Most likely. Also, Belair, hello. Hello, hello. I don't know if you saw me showcase the retro Evercade cartridge you sent me. Very kind of you to do that for me, by the way. It's a very cool little thing. Gorilla! Yes. Dr. Zaius. I can talk. I can talk, he can talk. I can sing. How do I descend to the madness? You saw? No worries. Good. Ah. Interesting. So... Fuck! And, yeah, drop. I'm dead. Tiny Lily! Hello!
Ball taken.
Hello, Tiny Lily. Hope you're doing okay. Boom, 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 boom. Vito Vendetta, welcome. Hello. Gorilla. There are some gorillas. Where? I don't actually know what these pressure switches do, if they've done anything at all. Yeah, I'm not too bad. What do you think about the new comic book announcement for Tomb Raider? Taking place after Underworld's events, and it's a unified timeline comic too. Has it piqued your curiosity? Did you not know about it at all? Which is probably more the likely case. Fuck. But there is a lever here. No, 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 no. Heard that. Does sound curious. Do you think, like we do, that they're probably going to retcon Trinity to be something involved with Natla? Ah, I should have done that first. Because that's what we've been discussing. Because it's the only way we can think of making the statements that Natla says about Richard and also the events that happened to Amelia make any kind of sense. But even then, that's a stretch. Oh, bugger.
Ball taken.
It's what they should have done after Underworld. I know. I mean, should they have? I don't know. As much as, like... As much as people bemoan the Survivor trilogy, and as they do have their faults, I will say that quite openly. It kind of was the shot in the arm that the series needed at that point, creatively. In a lot of ways, it did benefit the series. But then, a lot of baggage came with that, which I'm not entirely on board with at all, really. But, by Shadow of the Tomb Raider, it seemed like they sort of had worked something out. Again, not fully played Shadow, I'm waiting till I cover it for the video. But even then, I think if they carried on with the same formula as Underworld, I don't know whether or not it would be as successful as it currently has been. Because don't forget, like, those games sold really well. Like Rise, Shadow, Tomb Raider 2013. They all sold like gangbusters. I'm pretty sure they outsold like a majority of Legend and Underworld's total sales. I'd have to look at the graph that I found again to confirm that. Please take what I've said there with a massive pinch of salt. 69 deaths, I know. Nice. The thing is, though, with the Survivor trilogy is the fact that, like, they're perfectly good games in their own right. It's just whether or not, like, people consider them to be good Tomb Raider games, you know? If they're too divorced from the identity of the series, or whether or not they actually fit into it still quite nicely. That's the entirety, like, the entire subjective area of, like, any kind of art. Especially that era of the series. People could prefer one era because of like, story or aesthetic reasons over another for different things. And it's all... They're basically spinning plates and trying to make sure that none drop at the moment. With this whole unification thing. So we'll have to see what happens. But this comic series being confirmed as, like, Underworld adjacent is interesting. It's the first, like, big confirmation to, like, spell out a bit about what they're doing with the whole unified nonsense ever since they announced the unified nonsense. So it'll be interesting to see going forward what that comic series is like. Save before going into the cave. Before going into the cave. Oh shit, well I'm already in the cave. Let's go back out the cave. Save. Yes. I don't know, what's everyone else's vibes? I seem to sort of see a lot of, like... These days, I think I seem to see a lot of, like, anti-survivor rhetoric. In a lot of ways. But they're all for wildly different reasons. So I don't know what the general vibe from the fanbase about those games these days actually truly is. It's very hard to discern. What the?
What is that?
What the hell was that flashy entrance all about? Is that a demon cat or something? I mean, I like the fact that it Super Saiyaned into the room. It had like a flashy wrestling intro. That's cool. Zombie enemies with double the health. Oh, joy, that sounds like fun. Help me. Dragon Ball Zombie. Let me finish my muffin. Everyone expecting Tomb Raider on Game Boy and N-Gage to be canon, Steve. Let's face it. Oh my god. The N-Gage. Remember those fucking things? Those monstrosities? Ugh. "2013 games are not Tomb Raider games, they only slap the name with it." I mean, that's a common thing I see. But as much as I can kind of see possibly where those arguments could be made, I'm interested to know specifically why someone who says that thinks that. You know? I do think that's where the series lost its identity because it tried to be too many of, like, everything else. I will agree with you on that. But what is it about it specifically for people that makes it, like, still a Tomb Raider game, not a Tomb Raider game? I'd be curious to know. Atlantean zombie lions, what's next? The taco phone that you hold sideways. So what's the significance of dropping that plate? What does that do? Enjoyed the Survivor time. I really never played Shadow much for no reason other than I just stopped, got busy and never returned to it. Fair enough. I was wondering why Larson was in the modded things. I was sort of replying to Scotty, not me. I like the Survivor trilogy, especially Rise. Shadow felt like somehow dense, but it's still good. The games still have their flaws, but they're not as bad as people say. Fair. I think the general consensus I'm getting from my time with those games so far is kind of that. They're just fine. They're not like the burning pariahs of shit that some people like to make them out to be, but at the same time, they're not like the arbiters of like social correctness or like the correct way that this character needs to act, etc, etc, etc. I don't agree. I don't agree necessarily with the fact that Lara, out of, like, between Nathan Drake and Lara Croft, Lara Croft is the only one of those two adventurers, oh, and Indiana Jones, is the only one out of the trio that gets, like, criticized for what she does. Nathan Drake doesn't necessarily, at least I don't hear you don't see the conversations in public much. And Indiana Jones certainly doesn't. He's too iconic. And I thought Ms. Croft would have been the same. Oh, hello. There's a pushkit. Hello, Pussington boy. This was the little munchkin that was sleeping underneath my monitor here the whole of the last stream. He even stepped on my foot pedal to stop my speedrun timer whilst I was running Die Hard.
Miss is still outside. So
is she?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Also, Sarah's here, by the way. Say hi, Sarah.
Hi, Sarah.
Not literally. How you doing? You doing okay?
Yeah. I was just making things salmon.
Nice. It's your official last day at work tomorrow.
Yep. I start my new job on Monday.
Happy days. Cannot wait to leave that place.
And eating my muffin.
Yes.
So I should leave you to it with the cat.
Okie dokie. We shall see. We shall see. Hello, Puss Boy. See. Indiana is kind of these days about how he treats women in movies, right? But you also got to remember the time period that those films were made in too, and where they're depicted. I get it though. The game recently doesn't, but like the older movies and stuff, it's stuff that just was par for the course. As like problematic as some elements in any kind of media might be from the past, it's the past. That's not what they are now, you know? You just deal with the past. You sort of go, oh, that's a bit weird. And then you move on with your day. At the end of the day, he still likes to punch Nazis. He still likes to find shiny trinkets. And I still like to fall off ledges for no reason and kill myself. Happy
Ball
days.
taken.
Yeah, it's just like Lara Croft can often be held up as a pariah for feminism, and for like British colonialism, and other kind of like historical things that like adventuring and tomb raiding has been involved with. But it's like you don't really want the series that's supposed to be about a fun, like, rambunctious adventurer going around and, you know, taking down bad guys and uncovering cool facts about history to be weighed down with, like, oh, this is what the British did back in the day. It's like, yeah, we did do that shit. It was awful. But Lara didn't do that, so why should she be fucking held responsible for it? We're gonna get Dragon Ball Lion again.
What is that?
What is that? What is that? It's a zombie lion. Oh god, I can't jump for whatever reason. My button didn't work. Yeah, so if I tap the button, it goes down fast. If I hold the button down... Oh, now it seems to be doing it better. Maybe it just does it when it feels like. Okay. By the way, you saw my video in Discord, right? Interesting speedrunning tactic. Yeah, I'd be curious to know if whether or not runners already know about that skip. You'd have to watch an actual proper Angel of Darkness speedrun, get to that part, and then see how people descend the Hall of Seasons. Might be slightly glitchy visual health bar since they're not on the normal of this game. Yeah, true, could be. Could be. Let me just save. There is also the argument to be made that I see that people saying that, like, some legacy characters, like someone's brought up in the chat, James Bond, can't be modernized in any way, or shouldn't be. And I disagree. I think characters should have the ability to be reinterpreted in various ways, because it leads sometimes to some very interesting interpretations, and sometimes I think some good films, some good art, some good projects, like the Bond reinterpretation by Daniel Craig was definitely a success. I enjoyed those films a lot. And like Lara Croft is definitely not immune from a person, like as a person or like as a character, from having her character be reinterpreted or reimagined in some capacity, but the thing that James Bond does successfully with his reimagining that Lara Croft still has yet to do in a game is it doesn't suffer from an identity crisis. It gets all the facets of what James Bond and makes him James Bond, whereas with Tomb Raider, at the moment it seems like for a very long time, and they seem to be shifting away from it, thank fuck, they seem to be almost like writing for a character that they felt ashamed of. Which was very weird. And all the discussions and all the interviews that certain people would give about this particular character would just be like, yeah, we're gonna forget what she did in the past and just like, this is the better version. And that's 100% something and a sentiment that I do not agree with. Like, regardless of what you might think about the Daniel Craig movies, they're still very much James Bond movies, and you can tell, not just from the character's name, but just from the imagery, the situations the character gets, the DNA of and the fundamentals of what makes James Bond is in like Casino Royale, it's in Quantum of Solace, etc., etc. Whereas with like Tomb Raider, 2013 was just, yeah, it had tombs in it, begrudgingly it seemed. He's behind the screen again. It had tombs in it, but it very much focused on the wrong things. It very much focused on the action stuff, rather than it being just about the puzzle solving, the adventure, and the discovery. You could find stuff like artifacts and trinkets to explore and discover, but it wasn't very much like the thing that you were always like centrally designed to do or encouraged to do. It was always very much, oh, you got to go through this particular area, get this piece of like equipment to then be able to navigate through here, and then use this weapon that you've just found to be able to blast through this wall here to get to this area. You might find some trinkets on the way. You might find some little scraps and bits here that you can sort of implement into the crafting system. But really, like, the sense... Like most of what I have played so far in the reboot trilogy, puzzle-wise, has basically just been physics puzzles. And I can't speak for Shadow of the Tomb Raider yet. Again, have yet to fully explore and, like, enjoy Shadow of the Tomb Raider for myself. But like Rise of the Tomb Raider, and I make this point in the retrospective I'm currently writing, is Tomb Raider 2013 and Rise of the Tomb Raider, all the puzzles, if you want to call them that, was basically just varying degrees of physics manipulation with a bit of jumping. And it's cool for a few tombs and a few areas, but relying upon it so heavily is something that is honestly just... it gets a bit tired, as cool as the environments do look. And there are some really, like, gorgeous looking environments in those games. It does get a little bit like they couldn't think of anything else, and they kind of forgot about what actually was fun about the puzzles and the platforming in the Tomb Raider games. You know? I think they took too much of what they did in their version from Legend and kind of ran with it, whereas what they needed to necessarily do was stop, taking a moment, like have someone who like enjoyed the original titles be like, well, hang on a minute, you know, we could have these like themes and whatnot, certainly, but why don't we have it also so it kind of like has this moment here or these puzzles here that can kind of like call back to this and be something that actually has you make you think a little bit harder than just like, okay, I've got to pull this thing here with the rope arrows in order to make this swing over to this object here, to then blow up this barrel here, to then release this object here. It's like a Rube Goldberg type contraption, if that makes sense. But it is very much just that. I don't know, again, if chat can correct me on this. Shadow of the Tomb Raider has like many actual genuine puzzles in that game. And when I come to playing it, I will be pleasantly, like, impressed and surprised. I'm willing to be surprised. But from what I gathered so far, it's not the case. Yeah, exactly. Scott's right. Saying legacy characters can't be reinterpreted now is like saying people can't grow as human beings. Characters can grow. Look at Kratos. Prime example. Kratos. He was big, angry, bald man with massive fire blades, killed everyone in Greece. That was a god. And now look at him in these games. Critically acclaimed games that completely changed the tone of the series to a more grounded sort of... Not really grounded, sorry, but more of a kind of introspective journey for Kratos as a character compared to what he's used to doing. And it was really cool. I think a lot of fans really enjoyed it. But it, again, didn't forget what made the series the series. Since Crystal Dynamics got the IP and turned it into shit. I wouldn't say it's turned to shit. Those people who don't know what to do are the best thing that can happen. I think there are a lot of people, from people I've spoken to and people I've interacted with who have worked with Crystal, There's been a lot of dragging heels by certain members of, like, certain teams. And people who are in charge of certain teams. For a very long time. Almost like they're treating it like it's theirs, when it's not. It should be everyone's. And... I'm being purposefully vague, by the way, because I'm not going to say names or anything like that, because I know names. I've been told things. But it's just... I think that for a longest time, it's been mismanaged by people with way too much power in the dev team that have the wrong vision for the character because it's their vision and they want to see it through. And I get that. I get, like, Hideo Kojima's got a vision and he would like to see it through. That just makes sense. But to a point where, like, you wouldn't see him making a Metal Gear where it basically would turn Solid Snake into a completely different character. You know, if it's his origin story. But the problem is also that the fact the Survival Trilogy is an origin story trilogy now. Whereas beforehand, the impression was that it was 2013 and then Rise of the Tomb Raider would just be a new adventure. The origin story happened, now we move on. It's not necessarily the case. The origin story happened and then it got confirmed, like, way over at Shadow of the Tomb Raider that the origin story was continuing and that game would be the finale of that origin story, which was like, huh? Like, what? But it's just... It's disappointing, but it seems like... It seems, as much as it's been frustrating to watch, like, the IP basically disappear from the gaming culture and exists only to basically be a cameo in other people's games right at this very moment in time. I've forgotten what point I was making was. As much as that's frustrating, I don't think it's I think there are still kind of glimmers in there of something that could potentially... It all depends on how this, like, this next game comes out and what that's going to be like. The fact that Nix's software is gone is a little bit concerning. For those of you who don't know, and I'll make this point in the Rise of the Tomb Raider video when you see it, Nix's software were basically responsible for the Blood Ties DLC expansion. There was the producer of it was from Nix's software called Linda Burgers. Yes, that's her actual name, and no, she's not American. But essentially, they spearheaded the project, and from what my friend Jason at Square told me, is essentially that she was responsible and the team for sneaking in all the the nods to the classic games like Venice Violins on the gramophone, the nods to Temple of Shan with the Jade Dragon, and other things, and the fact that it's stylized in a non-linear kind of puzzle exploratory type of adventure was all down to Nix's software. It wasn't Crystal at all that made that. It was actually Nix's software, and I've got proof of that because I looked up and I did my research, and there's a blog post about them talking about the 20th anniversary of the franchise edition of Rise of the Tomb Raider that came out and how they worked on the Blood Ties DLC, as well as other ones. No, Nix didn't kick the bucket. They got pilfered by Sony, and now they're working for Sony making Spider-Man games and other things. Like, they're very fucking good at their job. Like, really good at their job. That they're responsible for a majority of the PC porting and anything to do with console porting that the Tomb Raider series has seen in modern times. They're really good, and it's interesting, really, when you actually play through the Blood Ties DLC, how in that short little microcosm of a story, that brief little window that you have with her wandering around her mansion and uncovering secrets, and then using items in other areas to then open up doors from completely different parts of the same level. You know, like Tomb Raider games used to be like, had more of the series DNA in it than I'd say most of Rise of the Tomb Raider. And as enjoyable as Rise of the Tomb Raider has its moments, I would say 100% that Blood Ties is the more kind of like authentic tomb raiding classic experience compared to it. It's definitely something that it kind of shows that they understood the MO of what to do more so than I think some people at Crystal did. Because as cool as like the gunfights are, like the combat's really fucking sick in the reboot series. Really good. And like some of the platforming and puzzle and physics and the locations are like just like really cool to explore. There are some great locations, but I want to take I really want the series to go back to that sort of like non-linear type of affair like you would do in these games, where you would basically get like thrown into a room or an environment and you could pick up something and you would have no idea what that something would do yet because you've not found the door that something opens. And then you would go and you would explore and you would find more stuff that you would pick up and you'd be like, huh, I wonder what this does. And eventually you would find that's where that something goes, and it would be a really fun time. Like a really rewarding experience. I want Tomb Raider to be back to that. Is the Rise retrospective coming soon? So, I'm going to be a little bit candid with y'all. I'm going to give you I'm going to open up my Premiere project and show you how far I have come with the Rise of the Tomb Raider project. Let me just load it up for you quickly. So I think everyone's like owed at least a little bit of a sneaky peeky and an update, not just the members or the Twitch subscribers. So let me just load that up. It's been a very long time since Shadow of the Tomb Raider dropped. It was 2018 when Shadow dropped. And we're still waiting on a new Tomb Raider game. It's crazy. I think this will be the longest period of time in between releases, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I don't want, like, hey Chris as well. I don't want another story where Lara needs to find herself again. She's been doing this for 10 years. Yeah, just let her actually be found, you know? So, let me just zoom out. It's going to just take a little moment for everything to just kind of load. And bam! Here it is. This is my entire timeline for the Rise of the Tomb Raider retrospective video. As it stands, it's the things that are missing is an intro, the live action bits to camera that I do in between certain parts to highlight certain points. I got to do the endurance mode stuff. I've got the Nightmare DLC, which I've got recorded. I've got to do the other DLC where you sneak in to destroy those silos with your new bestie, whose name I can't remember, but it's the same girl from the Baba Yaga DLC. Write a conclusion, outro, then it's done. Thumbnail, obviously, as well. But that's it. We're looking at... oh, hello, Ellie. We're looking at... Even without all that stuff there, it's about an hour and 32 minutes. And it's definitely going to be longer than that when the total video comes out. I think it will probably be closer to 2 hours at this rate. It's a very chunky video. It's a very fucking chunky video. And there's lots of stuff here. Like the whole Reginald T. Baggins thing, which I filmed as the teaser still in here. I might cut that out, because I don't think pacing-wise it makes sense. Among other things, there are so many other things in here that I talk about. And if you're a member of my Discord, or and there happen to be a YouTube member or a Twitch subscriber, if you join the Discord and have those accounts linked to your Discord account, I've got a whole bunch of like sneak peeks and previews that I post on the regular to you guys, so you can sort of like catch up with what I do, give me some feedback, whether like see whether or not I can add stuff, take stuff out, that type of thing. But yeah, this is all still very much like in the works, but it's near the end. It's as near as it's gonna be. It's as near as it's gonna be. And there we go. So there we are. There's your little sneaky peeky, everybody. Feature length. Which is crazy, and I apologise for the length that it's taken me to get to this stage. I also apologise in advance for the length of the total video time. It's going to be a long one, but I hope you enjoy it, and I hope that it's a video that you think is going to be worth your time. Hey, no worries, Apollo. Anything that I can do to you for you guys that will help alleviate any kind of like worries about me ever making content that's not live streams ever again, I will do, you know? I owe you that much, because you supported me continually throughout all of this. Cannot wait to see me play Shadow. I can't wait to play Shadow, do you know what? I have only played the demo, and that's it for Shadow of the Tomb Raider. Ooh, what's this? Health kit. Happy days. Seems that Rise was way too ambitious for it. So there's also a lot of, like, extra content. And I think Shadow of the Tomb Raider is also going to be in a similar position. It's a chonky-ass game. Oh, hello. Gorilla. There we go. Zenline, it's fine. You're all good. Oosh. I've said it before, but I think Shadow is the best of the Survivor games. So that's what I keep hearing. From my friend Tyranita as well, she's also said that Shadow is the most, like, the closest the reboot era series comes to being Tomb Raider-y. You know? But, hey cat. But, I'm looking forward to seeing what your thoughts are. Write an intro. Gunsmith cats. I'm not familiar, but I might have to look up the theme tune. I'm curious. Right, so what I'm trying to do. So we got that platform to get to that platform, but I need to know how to raise that platform so I can then, even in the first place, get to that platform. Any ideas? Scott, I might need you. Satnav, you're my chat Jarvis. I got tired of a lot of extra stuff in Shadow. As much as I liked the game, it was too much like FF7 Rebirth. It was a bit overwhelming. And I platinumed the fuck out of FF7 Rebirth, so I'm a sucker for extra content, I guess. But I found it very enjoyable. Frustrating at times, but very enjoyable. Shadow of the Tomb Raider, I have briefly, like, booted it up and, like, mostly to run benchmarks, admittedly, because it's a good game to benchmark on your PC. By the way, I know the story of Shadow of the Tomb Raider, so you can't necessarily, like, you don't have to worry about spoiling it for me or nothing. I do love the fact that it's basically a redo of The Last Revelation, in a lot of ways. Lara removes artifact from sacred place that she shouldn't have, causes the apocalypse, and has to sort of unfuck the world. It's basically the same story narrative premise as Tomb Raider 4. I love the Rise DLC, and I'm currently very disappointed that it's not from Crystal. I mean, it was yeah, I mean, Crystal and Nix's were basically like that. So it's kind of the same thing. It was published by Crystal, but the devs that worked on Blood Ties was Nix's software. Found Shadow's pacing very strange, did you? Okay. I've seen people from outside the Tomb Raider circle considering Shadow to be one of the weaker in the Survivor series, but I think people who are in the series long timers will appreciate Shadow more despite that, or maybe because of that. That's the thing, it's a very polarizing part of the series now. I think that Blood Ties was perhaps a high point of Rise, and also, I will say that as much as, like, Richard Croft is a meme in Rise of the Tomb Raider, in the main game, it makes a lot of sense for him to be the central focus in Blood Ties. I will, and I have, basically just gone full ham with the Richard Croft memes in the Rise of the Tomb Raider retrospective video. I really have. Just to emphasize how, like, at odds his inclusion and shoehorning into the narrative is, like, with the rest of what's happening at the same time. Can we get a daddy sound for the stream, maybe? Only if you're good. Okay, I'm unsure, but Try the area you climbed up to the crumbling platform. I think to the left there's something or a way to jump over, not entirely sure. God damn it, Scott! You're my eyes in the skies. You should know these things. Maybe just fast forward through the video ahead to where the platform gets raised and then just work your way backwards. And then just try and explain to me where it is. That might be the best thing. Richard Henshingly Croft. His middle name better be Henshingly. I mean, it's a really cheap and easy way to make Henshingly canon. Either that or just make him a fucking uncore or something. I don't know. I feel like this has basically been like a bit of a trauma dump. There's a little ledge there. I might be able to run and jump to that. A bit of a trauma dump stream. A grievance airing stream. Oh, I didn't necessarily need to be that dramatic. But I found it! I found the last one. I'm gonna save that now. Save. Yeah, the film I've not seen. I've not seen the Alicia Vikander film. But I read a synopsis. And he's in that too? In Yamatai. And he's alive. And played by the same guy who's in those nationwide adverts in the UK. Oh god. Oh god. Oh, for fuck's sake.
Ball taken.
Let's try again. I've seen exactly 3 minutes of that movie because Billy Postlethwaite is in one scene. Who the fuck is Billy Postlethwaite? I know of Pete Postlethwaite. Are they related? Whose balls are taken? Yeah, sorry, I've not changed the sound effect over from Sniper Elite 5. So that was when we were doing the balls only shot challenge. It's his son! No way! No, that's pretty cool. I didn't realise he had a son that was into acting too. But also Walton Goggins is in that movie as well. He's a great actor. He's a weird looking guy too. Who's in Yamatai? Henshingly? Yes, Richard Henshingly Croft is in the Alicia Vikander reboot movie. Yeah, living in a cave and isn't dead. It's a very strange deviation from the games. I really don't understand why they needed him. I should design a line of merch where it's just got like a picture of Richard Croft's face, but with like a stop sign in front of it saying like no Richard Crofts allowed. I reckon that would sell like fucking gold dust. Like hotcakes. Right, so I've got to try and jump up here now. No shoes, no shirt, no Richard Croft. Does he cosplay as Himiko? Could you imagine? Could you imagine, right, here's the scenario, like, Lara's battled her way up of the Himiko Ziggurat tower at the end of 2013. She's face to face with Matthias. She takes out Matthias. She's about to save her friend Sam from being possessed by what she thinks is Himiko. But then Scooby-Doo reveal. She pulls off Himiko's head, says, "Let's reveal who you really are." And it's just Richard Croft under there. And he's just like, "I wanted this vessel so I could continue on living. So I could be in your life at every step of the way, Miss Lala, my daughter." Almost call her Miss Croft. It's just like a Scooby-Doo reveal, and it's Richard Croft all along, underneath of Himiko. But at this rate, it'll be probably Jacqueline Natler or some shit. You know? Yeah, and then you pull off Richard's face and his Natler underneath it. Damn it. I don't think I can get up to there from here. I must be able to though, right? She keeps pulling off Richard's face and it just keeps revealing a face of another Richard Croft. Like, John Voight from the movie. And then you've got the dude from the Alicia Vikander movie. And then you got Henshingley. And then Richard again. Oh, for fuck's... How am I supposed to get round this? Because I'm meant to go in there so I can essentially go through that door that I just opened. Winston as a gag? Yeah, it's just Winston all along. There we go. Happy days. Thank you for the follow there, Artificial. I use numbers because I'm cool. Save! Oh, bugger.
Ball taken.
Whoopsie. Eventually, after there are no more faces, it turns out that it's that I don't even have a face, mon, Geordie Bob guy. Yes, bring back Geordie Bob. Justice for Geordie Bob. And the damned that live under the London Underground. I do use numbers because I am cool. Excellent, eh? Great to have you on board. As a fellow cool person, wink wink. I'm pleased to have another compatriot in my ranks. How you doing? It's like Tomb Raider... It's a name again I've not seen his content but heard so much about. Tomb Raider Trailer Man's Rise of the Tomb Raider parody. Like where, is a parody where it's like, Anna, I am your father. No, just kidding. See, without context, that just, I don't know really what to make of that. You know? I want to believe. Oh, do I drag this out the front door, actually? I do kind of want to make my own, like... Everyone's heard of the Gamer Poop series of videos on YouTube, right? I think making my own version, but Tomb Raider, just like an absolute shitpost of a video series would just be great. You have? You have what? I forget the context. We need a Tomb Raider Ancient Gods. And I got killed. Right, let's load game again. We can even do it live, like a live test. Like, I really wanted, I had an idea for an Angel of Darkness one. I for some reason got fixated with this idea of making Eckhart just this confused, like, old man that doesn't know where he is. He's just wandering around trying to find his grandson. Instead of, like, actually being the head of this, like, almighty secret cabal. He's just a confused old man trying to find, like, his grandson, you know. Have you seen my grandson? And meanwhile, all the people around him in the nursing home are all kind of, like, plotting to awaken something called the Sleeper, something super serious, and he's just like, I thought I saw him once over here, but I haven't seen him, he hasn't come to visit in a while. We must awaken the Sleeper today. I think I might go outside and look for him. Is that okay? Cool, that bypass is triggering the pendulum thingamabob. This macho broccoli can be like a 6-year-old who wants to be a dragon. I just want to be a dragon. That'd be super cool. I could be like, have wings and fly around and stuff and be like, "Rawr, fire." Wouldn't that be cool, guys? Huh? Wouldn't that be cool? Right, what did that open? Did that open the doors underneath? I'm guessing so because of the amount of gorilla noises I'm hearing from below. That or Sarah might have seen something adorable on Vinted that she wants to buy. Nothing, dear, it's fine. I say, fat man! Fetch me a dagger, fat man! I don't want to have to climb all the... Oh no, I don't need to. There's some stairs. It's fine. I almost did, Moon Spirit. But I desummoned. So we're safe. Oh yeah, that's the point! There's another Nishimura in Japan to deal with too. Is that gonna be like an uncle? Takamoto Nishimura. That's how she knows him. Ah, see, I'm writing this fucking shit for them! Should be taking notes from this five-head brain here. Hire me! I'm delicious. Takamoto was the bad guy. Who was the... He's just called Nishimura-san, wasn't he? Nishimura could just be her dad. I already put forth that theory in my legend video. Thank you very much. Of course. Because why wouldn't there be boulders triggered by those plates?
Ball taken.
Five-head Hydra of War. No, not five heads. I'm merely talking about the distance between my brow and my hairline. I have a prominent forehead. To store much useless information. So I trigger them one by one so I can actually get past them. That's the plan. Oh, fuck, okay. So that ain't the plan. We're just gonna jump sideways in a panic. That works too. I don't know who you are. Or where you come from. But I have a particular set of skills. Ooh. Ain't this fancy? A bit of sky, too. Look, sky, everybody. Daylight. In a Tomb Raider 1 map. That's unheard of. Outside of the remasters, that is. Makes sense that Sam and Toru are related in a unified timeline. Yeah, true. It's Toru Nishimura, thank you. So Toru could be an uncle. Or cousin Toru, you know. Plays into the whole gangster thing, doesn't it? Crocodile! Cousin Toru over in Tokyo. Unified Lara in the Legends Japan level would be just really awkward meeting the dad of her ex. Be like an It's Complicated type situation. Ah, you assume they had a romantic relationship. It could have done. It might not have done. Remember, if you just adopt the mentality of just, like, not acknowledging it, then you can have it both ways, and no one will mind. That was the crystal approach, as we like to say. Just keep it stumm. If you want Lara to be gay, if you want her to be straight, we will neither confirm nor deny, we will just let you run rampant. Technically, not Crystal is the only one that does that. Fucking, like, loads of fan bases do that. Like, for example, if you really want to get into something that gets vehemently passionate and also a little bit too aggressive at times, I've seen the discourse between Aerith and Cloud versus Tifa and Cloud shipping. So, yeah. That thing gets violent. There are street gangs. out there with their flick knives and their dance choreography moves, you know, just out there protecting their turf, like whacking each other around the head with their daimakaras or whatever they're called, the body pillow things, the waifu pillows, ready to defend their waifu's honor. Yeah, everyone talks about Tifa and Cloud and, like, Aerith and Cloud. Jacob's asking the real questions. What about Barrett and Cloud? Where's my bowed partnership? Cloudret. Artificial says they are Cloud and Aerith, but also Team Cloud and Tifa. It's a sensible thing to do. Me? I'm throwing a curveball. I'm going to say Team Jessie and Cloud. Why the fuck not? I know she's dead, but it doesn't matter. Doesn't seem to stop Zack, like, still kicking around. Oh, what's this? What's this? If I pick that up and something kills me, not going to be happy. Ooh.
I dutifully attend to my master, the Honorable Tio Khan. Cassandra is the name bestowed upon me. This dwelling resonates with ancient enchantments, drawn forth by Tehoken's mastery of relics long past. My inquisitiveness led me astray, luring me into the forbidden halls of past and halls of unborn. Words falter in their attempt to convey the hall of past, where I beheld echoes of my lived moments. As for the hall of unborn that lies ahead, dread courses through my veins. A shroud of darkness veils the visions that greeted me there. Was that a future I saw?
Awkward cut. I'm wondering whether or not that's actually a voice actor, because that's not Lara's thoughts, that's someone else's that's on the page, that she's reading out's thoughts. Well, I wonder if that's a voice actor they got for that, or if it's AI again, because unfortunately they did use AI for this, to give Lara some extra lines. It is what it is, it's a fucking fan project, you know, who cares? When it does matter is when it's a commercially released project that people actually paid money for, and especially when that particular company in charge of said released product don't ask permission for the voice actor that they actually use AI to replicate the voice of first. So this isn't open, so I'm guessing there's gonna be a lever somewhere that opens it. Please rescue me from automod. I can't see automod in my multi-chat. Sorry. Let's allow lesbos. Why not? God. What am I doing, chat? Lesbos is just an island in Greece. Honest. Fuck.
Ball taken.
Both Aerith and Tifa belong in, bring out different parts of Cloud, and are super important to his development, so I feel like both those relationships are good for him. Oh, 100%. Except, you know, when one of them dies, that ain't too great. But I'm fully behind that. I'm very excited to see where they take it with Part 3, honestly. I loved Rebirth. The ending for Rebirth, I won't get into too much here. It's too much to cover. But I honestly was just like, at first, really confused. But the more I sat down and dwelled on it, and after a second playthrough, I was very much like on board with what they were doing. I get what they were trying to do. I get also why people might not necessarily liked it.
Drawn forth by Tehoken's mastery of relics long past.
Also, Rebirth.
Led me astray, luring me into the forbidden halls of past.
Guess what inspired that diorama?
Words falter in their
I'll give you a
attempt to
hint.
convey
It
the
starts
hall
with
of
those two gentlemen, and it kind of went on from there.
As for the hall of unborn that lies ahead,
Oops.
Ball
Shit.
taken.
Oh, I've just added an extra death. Whoopsie. So those don't open yet. Oh, it's nice to meet someone else in the chat that's as enthused about the rebirths, like the re-trilogy as I am. I'm absolutely loving what they're doing. The only thing I wasn't so hot on were the whispers. Admittedly, the whispers and everything to do with them, like, I think in some ways it can be seen as a poorly conveyed, like, thinly veiled attempt to kind of, like, be meta and also add a bit too... It sometimes can sort of border on a bit too kooky. But the thing is, though, like, from everything I've played and experienced and everything I've watched and read about the whole series, kind of leaves me to believe that they know what they're doing with it, and I'm sure that it will all make 100% perfect sense when the third part comes around. I trust where they're going with it more so, I guess, than most average players. Wouldn't be a certain hour-long final confrontation, will it? No, no. Might be. Might not be. Yeah, it is. Find it kind of funny how, like, because of that, and the fact that you only get to use Zack as a player in, like, the final fight for a short portion, like a few portions of it, and no earlier, they were just like, shit, we need to include a tutorial in the final fight. Okay, let's do it now at this point. And as a result, like, playing as Zack can be, like, a really confusing experience at first, to sort of get to grips with how he plays, but if you play his VR mission, and you play controlling him, which I found to be the easiest way, he's actually really fucking good. He's actually super overpowered as well, like, really overpowered. He is indeed. Best boy. But his whole quick charge mechanic, which is his unique thing, like, as soon as you get the timing nailed, I think the way I got it in my head was like, it's supposed to be in between certain attacks and actions. You can press the triangle button to do a quick, like, attack charge. But I found with combos, if you do like 2 attacks and then immediately press triangle, and then 4 attacks and then press triangle, and then 2 again, and then just repeat, you can basically get the timing down, like, really well with that. And also, if you do it, you can do it after casting magic too to get a quick charge. So as a result, I was basically just charging up to level 3 and then casting High Braver like it was like it was going out of fashion, you know? I was just like buffing myself with bravery, so I had like boosted attack, and then just going to absolute town on the enemies that I was up against. It was a fun time. Oh, there's loads of that. Zack and Cloud Shippers. 100%. Right, let's go underwater for a bit. When Remake first came, I was a bit super skeptical of it, so I didn't play it at first, but when I did, I loved it, and Rebirth just heightened that love to the extreme. I need to replay Rebirth so bad. So, when I played Rebirth, we played it when it came out, I ended up sticking with it all the way through to platinuming it, and also I went through and platinumed, Remake Intergrade as well, and did all the optional stuff. That was fun. Especially with the optional bosses with Yuffie and Sonon. That was a very interesting time. Like the Proud Clad fight, or whatever it's called in that. Sorry, the cat's across my desk. Hello. Like the VR fight against the Proud Clad prototype was, that was quite difficult to get the timing right, but the one that I actually surprisingly found quite easy in the end was the fight against Vice the Immaculate, the VR fight against him, who, if you don't know and you're not... Who here is ever going to be deep into your Dirge of Cerberus lore? No one played Dirge of Cerberus. I haven't even played Dirge of Cerberus, but he's basically the final boss of Dirge of Cerberus. And he was a VR fight, a secret VR fight for, Remake. Because of the integrate stuff they added with Yuffie. And, yeah. For a fight that's, like, essentially on a timer that's hidden, I found it not too bad once you discover when you can stagger him. And Tifa is just insanely good to play as like, the primary fighter in that game. Her dodge move, where you can zip around the map, it's essential for getting away out of the way of things. You're probably one of the few people that love that game. I know that Max Dude does not like Dirge of Cerberus' story. But I wonder whether or not they're going to remake it, because they've already started, like, implementing Advent Children stuff into that whole Ever Crisis thing. So, if they are going to be re-including Dirge of Cerberus stuff. So it'd be interesting to see. Ah, bastard. I'm fully expecting Genesis to come back at some point. Genesis, one of the characters, main antagonists from Crisis Core. For the simple reason that at the end of Dirge of Cerberus, there's that post-credit scene where he's, like, in a cavern underneath Midgar, and he picks up Vice's body and basically just, like, goes, "Come, brother, there is much work to be done," and then flies off and disappears. And that's like the furthest point in the timeline. That's like past Advent Children timeline. So with everything that's going on with the world's merging shenanigans with like the Rebirth series and stuff, I would not be surprised if Genesis does show up in part 3 in some capacity. Don't know how, but he will be back.
Dread courses through my veins. A shroud of darkness veils the vision.
Hey, Cat. On here, please. Thank you. Good boy. Right, so where is that? That is not a room we've been to yet. Oh, God. And now he's under the desk. Under the desk, under the monitors. Now I'm confused, disorientated. Through here again. Those doors are ones beyond the spiked doors. So that's the hallway with the massive gate at the end of it, isn't it? How does one get to that? Is there more underwater shenanigans down here? Quite look like it, does it? No, I think that's a no. Really love that they're not ignoring any part of the extended lore from the 7 compilation. It's not only just that, they're also like re-implementing it in ways that make it way better than what was even in the compilation. Because the compilation stuff, very mixed in terms of overall kind of like consistent quality, right? We can agree on that, at least. Like, most consider Advent Children to be okay. Crisis Core to be okay. But flawed. Especially with its whole dream and honor nonsense that goes on all the time. Dirge of Cerberus is, like, not great in a lot of people's eyes. Before Crisis, nobody played because nobody had the mobile phones back then in Japan to be able to play it outside of Japan, so that's that. Clang clang door. Ooh, good point. Thank you, Little Green. Thank you. Clang clang door. I knew what you meant. When we say it like that, it's almost like, ooh, clang, clang, door, you know, like a Neanderthal sort of sounding voice. Me like clang, clang, door. Door go clang, clang, me likey. Let me just...
For simple pleasures.
I picked up that piece of paper that triggered the sound clip, I think. Yes. We already knew that, Scott. I'm pretty sure that wasn't an enigma for us. Have you, Artificial, seen the video about the themes and the ending of Rebirth by a channel called Subtext? If you haven't, I highly recommend looking it up because it's a long video, but it's really good. Like, if, like, most people who are into the lore of that game, or those games, are basically pointing their followers towards that video as the one to see, to sort of make heads and tails of what goes on and what to expect in part 3, and what the trilogy has actually done so far. It's not just for you, Artificial, anyone who's like curious as well in the chat. Subtext, SUBTXT is the channel. You don't think you've seen it, but I'll definitely look it up. I love watching videos like that. Yeah, it's long form, it's very good, very detailed, very dramatic at times, the way it's edited. Very engaging. And it breaks it down in a very easy to understand way, well researched, well cited. So he's got all the references on screen and stuff and all the sources quoted. Yeah, 100% recommend. From your pal Steve. It's a very tough undead panther. What's in here? Okay. This goes deeper. Okay. It goes deeper. Unless that opens underneath me, or we drain the water out of this and I fall down here and can use it to basically go further, I don't think there's any point to me going there. Yet, at least. Is it the Ready for Rebirth video that's almost 5 hours? Ready for Rebirth video. I've not heard of that one, but 5 hours seems a little bit excessive. Unless you split it up into parts, that does seem like quite the watch, quite the ask. Oh, 100%. Story of the mobile game and the Turks are related to Shimra people is very interesting. But the thing is, though, it needs to be retold and readapted in a format that people can actually readily access. And I think, like, of all the things that Ever Crisis is in terms of it being just a bit of a hollow cash-grabby gacha game, having it retell before Crisis would be quite useful. Love Lydia19, thank you very much there for the follow on Twitch. Welcome. Hope you're doing okay. Background video for whilst playing another game. I can sometimes do that. I like to sort of divert my attention with those types of topics to, like, fully in. So I'm fully absorbing what people are talking about. Those types of videos I don't necessarily want. Ah, shit. I don't necessarily want it to be just something I pay attention to secondarily to what else I'm doing. Oh, don't worry, I've watched like a 5+ hour game playthrough on multiple days. That's fair. I think I've done that a few times. I just don't get that much time, at least to dedicate to that long of a video in one go these days. As sad as that sounds. I've watched some speedruns that have been several hours, but I've done it in parts. I've done it in chunks. If only I had a grenade launcher. Ah, bugger.
Ball.
I need to heal. Need to heal. Right, so then step on that. The balls drop. And now I'm going to save again because that's what I do. That's what I do. There we go. Like watching videos whilst building miniatures or painting. That's the type of stuff that I can watch. If I'm playing a video game, I don't necessarily think I can watch something like that at the same time. If I'm building Lego or models or anything like that, or I'm cleaning or whatever, I can definitely put that sort of... That's the time I would put that type of long-form content on as a background piece, for sure. Down, monkey boy. Hello there, Anpu2678. Very enthusiastic entrance, I like it. Sorry, itchy eye. It's been a while. How's life? Yeah, not too bad. Can't complain. How about yourself?
Yeah!
Jason! Oh my goodness. Titan is just here to watch. Well, enjoy. If that's all you're here to do, then you watch right away. Although, admittedly, we haven't got long left until we wrap up tonight. I'm good. Just on light duty from pushing a 4,000-pound freight and my shoulder is busted. Wait, what do you do for a job? Are you Donkey Kong? What the hell? I'm guessing you're inside like a vehicle or something when you're pushing around. Oh, there we go. Drain the water. There we go. See? You're not just shoulder barging it like you're the fucking Hulk or something. Right? Or maybe you are. In which case, I'm very sorry. Now, how the oh, there's water there. Ah, okay, okay. What's it worth if I get this first time? A few bits, maybe? 1,000 bits? Couple of super chats? Maybe a few memberships, perhaps? On the old YouTubes? What do we reckon? This is probably gonna go horribly wrong. What have I got? 2 tiles worth of space? Between me and that, I'm wondering if I can get away with jumping where I'm stood, or whether or not I can... Oh, save. Yeah, everyone's prompting me to save. Don't worry, I'm way ahead of you. Oh my god, there's another one, isn't it? This is going to be tough, because if I overshoot this, I'm going to royally Roger myself. I reckon if I do it from here, that could make it. Standing jump? If I run jump, that's going to overshoot that. So it's going to be a standing jump, I think. Okay. Oh. Drum roll, please. Ready? And yup.
Uh-huh.
Go for Britain, baby! Yeah! Oh, yes. And there we go. Pay up, chat. There we go. See, even those gargoyles can't believe it. They're just like, oh my god. I can't believe she actually did it. She didn't break her neck or nothing first time. Holy shit. Can you believe that, Archibald?
Oh, no, I can't, Reginald, no.
Really need a fucking
It's the first time we've had a visitor down here in a millennia, but throwing in a few twists on the way down was definitely a choice. Don't you agree, Archibald?
Sorry, I was asleep there a little bit. Could you just bring me up to speed on what happened?
Ugh, typical Archibald. Absolute cretin, should pay attention.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, if you were in my shoes, right, and you were cursed here to remain stationary and motionless for this amount of years, without any kind of human contact, other than you chuckle fucks to talk to, wouldn't you also find it a little bit dull? To a point where you would end up missing something like this?
He has got a point, hasn't he, Reginald? Shut up, Archibald.
And there we go. And see. A 20-meter dive. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. I did think if I drained the water from that particular segment, how much of a pain in the ass was it going to be to get down here in one piece. Thankfully, it seemed pretty swankly straightforward. Let's just make a separate save. Lovely. Seriously though, what part of the original game were these textures from? Were they from the cistern? They must have been, right? For years? I've only been here 3 weeks. That video I sent you, I just remembered Lara stops screaming instantly when she grabs the ledge from falling. Yeah, I remember you saying. It's just like it instantly turns the scream brain. Part of her brain off. Scream brain. It's what we all do internally when we just turn on the news. Ah, well that's unfortunate.
Ball taken.
Give Archibald a hug before leaving. Oh, I will. If I can. I don't know what the hug button is. Right, there we go. I've given a virtual hug. Oh, and that, I think, is going to be a point to end this and then call it a night and leave it for the next stream on next Thursday. So let's take it back to the chat. Right. There we go. Some funky background music on there. Well, thank you everybody. It's been a real pleasure once again to be able to pick this up again, and I hope that everyone watching at home has been enjoying these streams as well, and been enjoying the fact that you've actually got additional content from me to watch that isn't exclusively tied to one platform now. It's now on both. So if you're a YouTube person or a Twitch person, you can now enjoy me in 2 different flavors, so to speak. But tonight it's been really cool. Thank you to everybody in the chat. Unknown Adventurer, Mo, Thomas, Spiral, Chemic, Fuchsia, Scotty Lodinson, Jacob, Moon Spirit, B Laird, Lily, Anpu for joining at the last minute. We appreciate any kind of latecomers, any lurkers, anyone else in between. Vito Vendetta, Tinkerbell, hello, second bout. Your dive and skip with the gargoyle is too long for a single clip. Stick it on YouTube, pretty please. I will cut it out as a highlight. Don't worry, I'll go back and do that. But yes, we are going to find someone to raid on the Twitch side of things. On the YouTube side of things, unfortunately, it's still not a thing. But you're welcome to hop on over and join us if you do happen to have Twitch as well, just so we can support another streamer who's also doing the same thing that I do here too. But yeah, no, it's been really cool to catch up with some people. Artificial, it's been nice to meet you. It's nice to have a fellow Final Fantasy remake nutter to talk to. And it's, yeah, and anyone else. Like, I do feel like tonight was a little bit of a moan, and I do apologise. But at the same time, these things are important to talk about, and I like that we can be honest and open in a non-combative and aggressive sense here in this channel. And that's the kind of vibe I want to keep. Regardless of what happens and my thoughts and feelings on where the series goes, we can always be civil about it here on my channel. And I like that. And I hope you do too. Let's find someone to raid before I start getting all mushy. Where is my Twitch? There it is. Jacob is also a crazy FF7 fanatic. Please, if you're part of the Discord, join. And make a thread. We can chat about stuff. I'd be more than happy to chat shop with you guys about Final Fantasy VII stuff. Well, Final Fantasy stuff in general, because me and Sarah are big Final Fantasy fans. We love the series. What are we doing? We've got following. Let's just save the filter there. Just ask, will you cover patch 2 of 4 and 6? I think I already have. Oh no, actually, like, playing it? At some point, yeah. You'll see it. You'll see it. Not in a rush just yet. So we have got... DJ Full is playing the Usurper's Sword by Aza. That's another level set build. Action Turnip is doing a no loads, no meds pistol only with tank controls remaster run, which could be pretty cool. We have got someone else who... Have we got anyone else that's playing Tomb Raider? Yeah, we've got Just Beardy who's playing another... Hills or something. I have no idea what that title even means. But we've got Badass Gamers as well, he's got 158 people watching him. Crazy dude. Super popular. But what we're going to do, and they have frequented us quite a few times, we're going to repay the favour and send you over to the game she plays, who was part of the chat for a good while. They're playing the Tomb Raider Remaster 1 through 3. So let's send you over to them. If you can, stick around and support the game she plays, please do. If you got a raid and run, or just run, that's absolutely fine too. Look after yourselves, and I'll catch everyone on the next stream on Tuesday for more shenanigans. And I'll let you know what those shenanigans are nearer the time. Take care now. Bye-bye then.